Hello everyone, welcome back to more AEW on TEW 2020. We are here in the third week of April. We're starting off with our show of Dark, as El Vikingo defeats Will Hobbs with a 6:30. Changing some gimmicks up because his current gimmick is pretty bad. Adequate, that's fine. Ace Austin then defeats Griff Garrison. Killer Kelly is... I don't have Killer Kelly on here. Oh well. On screen. Killer Kelly is seen with her chain. She's practicing getting better with whipping that chain against people, presumably. Like probably using a training dummy. But she is approached by the boss bitches. They talk to Killer Kelly about how Lavender Sky got involved in Kelly's business last week. Of course, Killer Kelly trying to choke out Jordan Grace. Lavender Sky came in and made the save. The boss bitches, well, they're not fans of the Nightmare family. Since it's likely that Kelly wants a bit of revenge on Jordan and Lavender, Jade Cargill, the de facto leader of the boss bitches, offers to help Killer Kelly with them. Kelly gets up, she gets face-to-face with Jade, or as face-to-face as possible. I'm pretty sure Jade Cargill is actually, like, really tall. And she asks what Jade really wants from this. You know, why ask me? Why do you want to get along with me? It's not going to be that simple. And Jade says, yeah, it is that simple. I just want to beat the Nightmare family up. They're annoying. They're trying to take the spotlight from people like me, like Elena, like Nancy. Yeah. Killer Kelly's like, alright, sure, fine. Next week, Jade Cargill and Killer Kelly against Jordan Grace and Lavender Sky. Bit of an odd couple pairing on both ends. Griffin Slade then defeats Peter Avalon. Battering knee smash. Hey, Peter Avalon is no longer into a bad. He's no longer ice cold. Io Shirai defeats Miro de Pasqua. Miro defeats Enzo. Deonna Purrazzo defeats Leva Bates. The Wu-Ten clan defeat the Butcher and the Blade. And Spears adequate. Enzo was then seen backstage. She's still in obvious pain from that whole match with Miro. And then Nat Murphy walks by and Enzo stops him. He asks if Nat is really content where he is in the company right now, considering that at the beginning of his career, he was one of the best prospects and one of the most prolific prospects that the company had, and now he's wandering around doing nothing. Murphy's like, okay, yeah, that is true, and that's why I'm with Steiner. But Enzo, he makes an observation. No. Murphy doesn't really want to be there with Steiner. He's just kind of there. Just kind of got dragged along to it. And with someone as real as Enzo, Murphy can do more than just be strong and buff and swollen, whatever. He can be a champion. Murphy, he considers this, but he leaves. Nat Murphy was one of the first prospects, one of the first graduates from the Nightmare Factory. He had a TNT title match really early on in the series, and he's done pretty much nothing since. Nothing since. So Enzo maybe pairing with Nat Murphy, who knows? Eddie Kingston then defeats Homicide, and have great chemistry. Vicky Guerrero then comes out onto the stage, and she starts trying to recruit Eddie into the Latino World Order. While he doesn't fully fit the mold that the LWO is going for, somehow, I don't exactly know, probably just because he's being too nice recently, he is someone that would benefit from it. He's also worked with the Lucha Bros before, had a little bit of a stable with them, and they are more than willing to work with Eddie again, but Eddie declines. Dalton Castle is then making an elaborate entrance to the ring for his match here on Dark, and the Troupe are performing alongside him with a bunch of other just non-wrestling performers. They're interrupted when Tully's group barges in, and they knock out all of the wrestlers before they start crushing all of the stuff that they had for the entrance. They're just like, hey, you want to be fancy? Too bad, fuck you. So they just destroy the Troupe stuff. They're just generally being kind of mean. Abaddon then defeats Bianca Corelli. The Acclaimed defeats Cesar Emerald and Cutter SK. The Future then come out with Frederick Hurst after the match, and Hurst begins to cut a promo on the Acclaimed. He says, I see you took my advice and got yourself a match on Dark against some rookies. No, I know what you're thinking, We're all rookies, all three of us, we're rookies ourselves, and it's not necessarily wrong, but there's one big difference. those two guys, they're rookies. They're new. They're working somewhere else. We're not just rookies, though. We're the future of this company. We are prodigies in the making. Have you seen just how good Leo and Donnie are in the ring? And with me being their #1 hype man, oh lordy, you have no damn idea what's going to happen here. You're not going to be anything compared to us at any point in your career. And awful. Fantastic. Main event, Adam Cole defeats Carl Anderson. Pretty long show of Dark, actually. Huh. I think it just had a lot shorter matches than normally. Oh, I just realized that was a 9 rated match. Oh well. We'll move on to Dynamite. Our show of Dynamite begins with a bang, in probably the first non-title singles match that I've had a champion participate in. Mayu still defeats Shotzi, however. Usually non-title is, you have a chance for the champion to lose, but no, this is just Shotzi straight up. She gets a chance against Mayu. Basically, in story reason for this is a while ago I had Pat McAfee basically say that, hey, I'm hosting what's definitely not Talking Smack. Pretty much over commentary, they'd be saying, hey, Mayu, during the Dynamite dealing, said, Shotzi's a really good wrestler, and it's a shame that she's so far down the rankings. I'd like to challenge her. So they arranged this for a non-title match. But after this, following her victory, Mayu is quickly approached and beaten down by Utami. Utami only takes a few strikes to beat down Mayu. She then puts her boot on Mayu's head, and she grabs the title and kind of holds it up almost like a Captain Morgan pose. And she holds that for a little bit to let a bunch of pictures be taken of Utami, with this very dominant pose over Mayu. Imagining there's a lot of flash photography. This is a very scenic moment. Obviously, a camera is, slowly zooming in on this. They have the full thing in there. But eventually, she finishes. She sets the title down next to Mayu. And we can hear over the camera, she's not mic'd up or anything, but we can still just hear it, that she says, "This will be mine." And then she leaves. Utami getting a one-up on Mayu. After this, Renee interviews Britt Baker about the situation with Big Swole. She says, before any of you say it, shut up. I know Swole beat me, and it's a bunch of crap. She took a low shot at me with that damn advertisement, but now the gloves are off. And then she holds her hand up. She's wearing the latex gloves that, dentists usually have, and Cynthia Regal, her assistant, literally removes the gloves. A little bit of a cheesy moment, but oh well. Britt Baker can't actually kind of afford those cheesy moments. You want to play that way, Swole? Well, you should just know that I'm not going to hold anything back against you at all, ever again. Everything is on the table, and you'll know it was a mistake to mess with the dentist. Britt Baker, DMD. After this, MJF and Griffin Slade defeat Top Flight. MJF with a 95. What the hell? Sorry, what? That is the highest single rating we have seen anyone get. What? 95 rating for MJF. What the hell? After the match, however, Sabay and Kevin Steen come to the ramp, and probably Rami is saying this, and he says, we've danced around the ring, about getting in the ring together for a while, MJF, but I think that should change. Saturday night on Rampage, we're gonna take you and the North on. And MJF is like, this is an easy win for me. It's 3v2. It's me and the North versus just you two. Alright, yeah, sure, whatever. I'll take that. Obviously, not a surprise, Steen and Sabay have something planned. I don't think that's really much of a spoiler. As for what is planned, we'll get to that on Rampage. Adam Cole is then seen being attended to by the Cult of Cole. He says, Adam, just like you? That's a cute statement, isn't it? You want me to be just like you, someone who thinks he can prove that he's all this, that he's getting better by setting aside his little drinking habit, but you still make sure that you always have that. You need to remind us every single day that you had that, but you don't know anything about me, Hangman. You never have, and you never will. I'm not going to change. I'm leading people now. I have those that listen to me. I have those that trust in me for strength. I have people like Utami who are dominating a dominant force in AEW, and I have myself. I'm so much more than you think that I am, Hangman. You think that me being like you is this improvement to myself, that I'm getting better by trying to emulate the AEW World Champion Hangman Adam Page? Well, I would beg to differ. Just think about this for a moment, Hangman. Which of us is the one with friends that haven't left them? Which one of us is the one that has people supporting them? You can pretend to be this good guy all you want, Hangman. But I'm not going to stoop to your level of lies, of hypocrisy, of pretending to be something that you're not. 80 rated segment, I'm liking these ratings. After this, a little bit of a weaker rating, but the Briscoes are then seen in a vignette on their farm. Says, "Oh, thought that was a clever trick, eh? Little bastards thought you could mess with us. There ain't nothing gonna stand for it. You mess with the wrong boys. Look, I get it. Y'all two are people that want to see yourselves at the top of wrestling, but when you just ain't that fella, you're Pack's little bitches. No matter what you do, it's at the beck and call of some angry British midget. Yeah, we got the support of Taz on our side, but you know what? We ain't Taz's bitches. We got an independence to us. That's something y'all two can't ever hope to reach us with." I kind of stopped with the accent midway through. I usually can get a pretty good hillbilly accent, but I was getting more New England with that, and I mean, it's not wrong. They're from, Delaware, I want to say. I don't know too much about the Briscoes, but still not a bad rating, honestly. After this, Brock Lesnar defeats Jake Hager. What a shock! Paul Heyman looks smug on the outside of the ring, because of course he was there managing Brock after the defeat of Jake Hager, but he quickly retreats into the ring when the Vision's music hits, and Jake Roberts begins to speak and says, "You already got the inner circle to go and mess with, but we're not just gonna leave you off the hook like that. You screwed over the Murder Hawk monster. There's some debts that need to be paid, Heyman. You've escaped those loan sharks one too many times, and we're here to collect that which you tried so hard to weasel your way out of. The walls are going to be closing in on you, Paul. Can't hide behind the skirt of your little monster all day." And Brock, obviously with him being said that, he's wearing a skirt, he's a bit offended by it, and he takes a few steps forward. Lance Archer, similarly, he takes a few steps forward. They start jawing back and forth, not on mic. You can probably hear some of the words being said, but, it's more of just these two beefy boys have technically fought against each other, but not in singles action. And honestly, that would be an amazing match to watch in real life. Just these two massive units of men going ham against each other. That would be a fun one. After this, the best friends are all seen together. Chuck and Trent are talking about how all the stuff with Devon Dudley was a bunch of crap, and that things aren't finished between them. They then talked about Orange Cassidy and the challenge that CM Punk made to him, and they said that Orange Cassidy told them that he agrees to the match with CM Punk whenever Punk wants it. Obviously, Orange Cassidy, he's not going to talk for himself. Adequate. That's fine. Great. Perfect. Just changing those gimmicks up because they were pretty bad gimmicks, and also I could potentially fix some momentum with it. Kylie Ray, I keep forgetting that she's part of the best friends in this universe, but she's definitely someone that I can give a women's push to, because I still need to work on my women's undercard, and I think I'm doing that fairly well. I'm working on it. With Rampage, the depth of my company is gonna get way better. After this, Jonathan Gresham defeats Fred Yehi. Not much to it. The Bullet Club are then seen talking to the camera and said, Alright, that's how you want to play it? You want to team up with all your other little friends. You want to team up with your New Japan guys and Cody? Alright, sure. I like the challenge, because that's what we take and that's what we thrive in. Mox, I'm honestly a bit glad you won our match together. Yeah, I don't like having the loss on my record, but I'd rather have that than you making the Bullet Club a piece of overblown garbage. The Bullet Club are here, and by God are we here to stay. Our presence in America has died off a little bit, and I think that the best way to bring that back to life is to take out a little someone by the name Jon Moxley. Consider this war. Okay, not bad. And not bad. Okay, I can work with those. Miro then defeats Donovan Dijak. When Dijak gets intentionally disqualified, I imagine he just grabs his lead pipe and just bonks Miro with it. Miro with a 76. That's a bit disappointing. Why did Miro do so poorly? Inconsistency, declining physical ability for Miro. He is, what, 37 in this? I have to keep that in mind. Dijak intentionally disqualifies himself by attacking Miro with his lead pipe. Soon enough, the other members of Brutality Inc. begin to fill the ring, and they all take turns wailing on Miro as Pac watches from a seat on top of the turnbuckle. Of all people, Jurassic Express comes down to make the save, but before they can do anything, Pac orders the Hit Squad and orders Brutality Inc. to disengage. Pac, still holding his candlestick, he gets down from his top rope on the turnbuckle, walks up to Jungle Boy, gets close to him, then he kind of just pokes him in the chest with the candlestick and says, if you want to help out that mistake, you can start with me next week. So Pac versus Jungle Boy next week. After this, Ashley Flair and the Queen's Court are seen with Shotzi's tank, and then Ashley begins to speak, and she says Little Miss Devil Warrior keeps roaming around with her stupid little tank, and she gets the respect of the champion and a non-title match. That's certainly something that impresses me. I'm the goddamn queen of pro wrestling, while Shotzi is some overhyped little gremlin with a stupid punk rock aesthetic. Royalty is needed in this business, and that's just what I and my court provide. Shotzi, you want your little tank back? You can come and get it. And in our main event, Garza defeats Dustin Rhodes. Despite the win, Garza's not really too celebratory about the retirement of Dustin Rhodes. He helps Dustin up to his feet and gives him a lot of respect as Dustin stands there. He's still a little bit shell-shocked by the fact that he's now retired. And Garza asks for Mike, and before he leaves the ring to let Dustin have his moment, he says, if you don't want to be finished yet, I'm always willing to let you continue fighting against my Rose Garden. He leaves the ring as the show ends with Dustin alone and exhausted. So the whole thing was Dustin was going on a winning streak because the next time that he lost, he would retire. I may be second guessing that. So basically, I'm leaving an out for this. Dustin, he put that stipulation on himself, so he'll for sure not be showing up next week like, hey, I don't actually want to retire. But kind of just depending on how things go, Dustin could return to the ring. I'm not sure. For now, I'll mark him as retired. But again, he could return to in-ring action. Eventually, a 76 rated show. Pretty nice. Lots of green there. I'm very happy with this show. That MJF performance was fantastic. And yeah, that was definitely a match that could have been better if I put in better people, but I wanted to get Griffin Slade a big win, get him some pop, because he has some amazing physicals. He has 100 stamina, 100 athleticism, and 100 power. Griffin Slade is incredibly good. But that'll be it for Dynamite. We'll move on to Rampage on Saturday. And actually, we moved the event version of Rampage, unlike last week.